Hello there. So I began a conversation last week asking if you think that yelling can be avoided in parenting. However, I would like to lay some principles, right? Within the time lapse between when I posted the last video and now, I had a lot of parents who opened up to me to tell me about the fact that they were able to practice the stop principle. Yeah? But even though for some situations they were able to practice the stop principle, more often than not, they ended up reacting rather than responding. So many times they yelled over practicing the stop principle. And then they began to use words like TBOG. I think I failed this week. I wasn't able to prevent myself from yelling. So I know I promised that I was going to take it into another dimension today where I was going to tackle what yelling truly means. But in order to ensure that no one leaves feeling guilt or going on the blame, taking blames, engaging in blame games or going on guilt trips, I decided to tackle guilt in parenting first, and then I'll continue on this yelling issue. So, when you read parenting books, take courses, have conversation with parenting coaches, you get a lot of life principles, a lot of techniques and strategies to use in adolescent management and in basically everything and anything that has to do with parenting. Yeah. However, when we fail or when we do not adhere to those principles, to those strategies 100%, many times we come down with guilt. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, after which I will talk about yelling. I most likely will split this video into two so that it's not too long. Yeah? So, if you have ever experienced this, where you begin to practice something that was not originally in your comfort zone simply because you're trying to evolve and become a better parent, however, you find that you're not consistent, I need to give you these 4 tips that will help your journey, right? Because when you stay guilty, the possibility of you even adapting to the new strategies you're trying to deploy becomes very slim. So guilt must be completely eradicated when it comes to parenting in order for you to continue and keep at it. Yeah? So what are these 4 principles? I call them the AHA pathway to a blame-free and guilt-free parenting. AHA is spelled A-A-H-A. AHA. Yeah. So the first A is called authority. As parents, you have the authority to do and undo. That is a grace and a gifting and an assignment, a responsibility that has completely been given to you. No one is contending that. The foundational values, the foundational moral setting of your child is in your custody. The framework for who your child will become entirely lies upon you first. Before your collaborators or your competitors can even do anything, the bulk of it begins with you. So you have the authority. You can give instructions as you please and expect it to be obeyed, because as a parent, that is your office. You sit upon an authority. It was handed over to you the minute you brought a soul, a child, a being into this world. Yeah? So as parents, it's important we never forget that. You have the authority. You have the authority to define the framework of your relationship with your child. Do you want to be a parent that is unapproachable? It's in your court. Do you want to be the parent that is approachable? It's in your court. Do you want to be the parent that is constantly disrespected? It's up to you. You have the authority to set the pace, to set the boundaries of relationship that your child will experience. A for authority. It belongs to you. Yeah? Now, if all you know and all you wield in your journey of parenting is your first A, which is your authority, then you are an autocrat. You're a problem. You're going to raise children who will become rebellious. Because when you raise children in an atmosphere where they are not giving room to express themselves, rather all they are being taught to do is to simply obey. You're going to raise a child who will be coerced into compliance rather than experiencing willing compliance. When you do that, your child will be obedient to you in your presence. But when you leave, your child becomes another being. And this is one of the things responsible for children leaving home into the boarding school or into the university, and they become wayward. They become something else. It's because growing up, they were never given room. So at the slightest opportunity to experience freedom, they let loose. Yeah? So if all you know and all you wield in your journey of parenting is your authority, then there's a problem. So that gives us the second A, which is altruism or approachable. The second A speaks to the lamb part of you. So let's call the first A the lion part of you, right? So the second A speaks to the lamb part of you, the part of you that is open, the part of you that is humble, the part of you that is selfless, the part of you that is understanding, that is patient, that is in touch with the feelings of your children. That part of you is the other A that balances out the first A. So yeah, you have your authority. As a parent, you must wield it. If you don't wield it and create boundaries, you're going to cause a major problem. You must understand your office as a parent. But you don't stay there. A good leader is one who understands his role in an organization, but still listens to his followers. Followers love him not because he bosses them around, but even though he sets the tone of the organization, of that committee, even though he sets the tone, he sets the pace, he listens. So information comes from bottom up rather than up bottom. Now, that's the characteristic of a very good leader, and that's who a parent should be. So understanding your authority, but still holding your altruistic part, your approachable part, to ensure that it's a balanced relationship. Now, if all you know to do is to be altruistic, to be approachable, to be the lamb, it's a problem because you will be unable to set boundaries. You will not be able to vocalize your thoughts because you are scared of your child. You become a doormat. Literally, you are a neglectful parent. That is who you are if you abandon your first A, to focus on the second A. If you abandon the second A to focus on the first A, then you're a tyrant as well. My apologies. I do not mean to insult anybody, and I speak in love, but I want you to understand the gravity of what these two roles, of how these two roles mingle together to help your parenting journey. They should not be put aside or treated independent of each other. They complement each other. So your authoritative part and your approachable part must work together. You set the values, you set the instructions, but you're still there to listen to when there's a different opinion, and you reason it out. But if all you know are both A's, You understand your authority and you understand that you're to be approachable. But that's all you understand. This is where guilt will come in, right? And that's the H, the third part, the H. Even after understanding both A's, you need to be in touch with your humanity. As parents, know firsthand that before you ever became parents, you were first a human being. And with human beings come errors. We're not perfect. We're all striving to perfection, but no one is there yet. So, when you practice the S.T.O.P principle, for example, in week 1 and you fail, don't beat yourself up about it. You are human. Your brain has been conditioned into doing something, and then you're about to break out of that conditioning to recondition into something else. It takes time, it takes process, and it takes consistency. It takes diligence. It doesn't happen overnight. So, you have to be in touch with your humanity. You have to let yourself feel and know that you are human. You are bound to make mistakes. You might not always practice the S.T.O.P principle. The very fact that the idea of the S.T.O.P principle even comes to your mind is a plus for you. It means you are deliberately trying to evolve into a better version of yourself. Yeah, so when you are in that process, you've read parenting books, you're trying to implement, but you find out that here and there you flop, don't beat yourself up about it, and do not allow yourself fall into that guilt trap. Don't take that guilt trip. Realize that you are human. On this journey of parenting, it is crucial to be in touch with your humanity. To mothers, I'm very specific again to you, because sometimes you are so overworked and you just want to go to sleep. You want to leave the house messed up. You don't want to make dinner. You just want to come back from work and sleep. But then guilt will not allow you to do that. No, you need to remember you are a human and you can burn out. Nobody wants a burnt out mother. Nobody wants a burnt out father. I mean, when you're burnt out, you become even more aggressive. So you want to avoid that. You want to realize that you are human. When you need to rest, you rest. When you need to commend yourself for baby steps, please do that. You remembered the S.T.O.P principle. It's just that you did not apply it. You remembered. You give yourself a high clap. Wow, I remembered the S.T.O.P principle. Okay, tomorrow I will try to practice it. Yeah? You appreciate your baby steps. You have to be in touch with your humanity. Because if you do not allow yourself feel your emotions, or you do not allow yourself, if you do not give yourself some slack, you're going to hurt yourself. And when you hurt yourself, you will hurt others, especially the ones you care about, right? So we have the first A, as a parent, understand your authority. You have that authority. It's been given to you. Use it wisely. As a parent, even though you have that authority, you have to be approachable. You have to be altruistic. Your child must feel safe coming to you, to confide in you, to contend with you over an instruction you've given, knowing that it's not going to end in a shouting spree. Rather, it's going to end up with two adults, conversing, bringing up points. Oh no, mom, no, dad, I disagree. How about we do it this way? And you respond, oh no, doing it this way, these are the errors there. How about we do it this way? You converse, And then while doing those two A's, you realize, see, I'm human. I can make mistakes. I can give you instructions that are wrong without even realizing that that's what I'm doing. I am a human being. I am bound to make mistakes. So what balances out your humanity? That takes us to the third A, which is the fourth point. A, ascent. Ascent speaks of the divinity. Ascent speaks of you having an option to defer to. You not being the last decision maker. Sometimes there are decisions we need to make in our parenting journey that could become overwhelming. you know, I can't make this decision on my own. Who do I default to? Yeah, there's the aspect of the divinity where you can default to a grand organized designer and you bear out your heart to him. There's the option as well of also deferring to a coach, a parenting consultant like T-Sage and TBOG Consult to help in this decision-making process. Now, these two options are not independent of each other. They can work together. While you're speaking to the grand organized designer on how to maneuver the situation, you're speaking to a coach on how to maneuver the situation, and the synergy of both can cause a profound effect that would change the game of your parenting journey. So I thought to mention these 4 points. If you've been trying to live up to certain things you've been learning and you're finding it a bit difficult, don't beat yourself up, right? Never forget the 4 principles to a guilt-free and blame-free parenting, the AHA pathway, AAHA. And so I will end this video here and then continue on what it really means to yell. Thank you.